how to hook up the projector. Okay, so in this mess somewhere is a line, one of these Ethernet cables, okay, that is connected to, this says booth to projector, and that Ethernet cable runs up here, up into the ceiling, and over to the projector that's hanging up there. Now there are two cables going to that. One of the Ethernet cables comes from the booth. The other Ethernet cable comes from in behind there, and there's a sticker that says stage right to projector. But on this one, we're going to hook up to this thing. So, booth to projector, and then we use these boxes to get to HDMI. So this goes into the computer, this short little HDMI cable, which are kept here, by the way, behind you. Okay. And this one is a transmitter. So this transmitter is going to then take the HDMI signal. It's going to turn it into an Ethernet signal. It needs power with one of these things, which is just plugged in right here. Okay. And then there's a box on the other end, which is a receiver, and it is up by the projector. The projector needs to have, that little box needs to have the correct cable plugged into it, or else it's going to be looking for signal down on the stage when you're trying to send it up here. So walk up into the grid, and just above that projector is one of those little boxes. All the way over here on the other side of the staircase, just helping you orient here, this is the booth. But on the far side is another door, and there is, gonna need that key again. And now you can go up the stairs. Up the weird stairs. There's a light switch right here, which is finicky. I have a flashlight, which makes it easier. There's usually one hanging out in the booth. And you come along here to the catwalk. This is the second catwalk to where the projector is. Okay. And then if you come down here, you'll see that little box that I was talking about. And that is a receiver, and it's tied there so that you won't drop it. But you unplug this Ethernet cable, the one that says booth to projector. If you want to run from down on stage in the corner, you simply have to switch out that cable for, sorry, trying to zoom here, for the other cable that's coming along, wherever the hell that is. Stage right to projector. And so you would use this one instead of that one. Hope you can see that. Okay, just swap those two. And now it'll be looking for signal down there in the corner. And there's a cable down there that you would plug a transmitter into. And so we come back into the booth. If you want to, you can steal that transmitter with its power supply, or you can just come over here and find another one that is, this one says receiver, so it's no good. You just look through here until you find one that says transmitter. What's that one? Probably another receiver. Anyway, you can look through here and find yourself another transmitter, or simply steal this one and walk it down to the floor so that you can transmit your HDMI signal up to the projector from stage right. And so all of these cables, most of them are used for sending cameras up to the booth, but this one right here says stage right to projector. And so this one would come over here to this table, and this Ethernet cable would plug into that transmitter box, and then an HDMI cable into their computer. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the stage, which is hidden right here, and is always here and always goes back here so that we always know where it is the remote control for the projector. You come up here and aim it at the projector and hit power twice. I think you have to hold it for a while. And then you have to uncover the screen, which is this pulley system right here. And by pulling on one of these two ropes that are on this pulley system, you can open the curtain very slowly and laboriously. And you can open it up just until the edge of it'll be a lot more open than this, but you can open it up so the projection, bring the curtain in so it's just covering the end of the projection, so it's not like a bunch of white area here. If the projection stops here, move that curtain in until it covers right up to the edge by, again, just pulling on this until it looks right. The next thing I want to cover is where is everything? Where is everything? Well, I'm standing here, so we'll start here. Off on this side is the snake that you can use to send audio up to the booth. This is our receivers for our wireless. We have these little cables. You can route them to wherever you want, but we have these short colored cables that we use for wireless here. If you do get into patching speakers, there's SO7, which you would have seen up in the patch bay. This is the other end of the extension cords. They're all over the place. So you can, this blue one is being used right now for one of the front of house speakers. But there is an empty one there, so if I wanted to hook up a monitor, I would go back here to the crossover. This is where all of our mic stands are held. And then our medium size and then our small size. And then over here are the speakers. And here are the feet for the speakers that point them in the right direction. But you can use a speak-on cable connector in the back to hook those up. There's also two powered speakers here usually, unless they're being used for an event. You can use those. Make sure they are set to line, not mic, or you will blow them up. There's some stools here, music stands, and this is our hazer. There's a drum carpet here. We'll go back out here to find my keys. In this room, called the riser room, we have a workbench. There's a key for this workbench on the keys that Lynn will give you. But mostly what you're looking for is over here in this toolbox. Top drawer, microphones, wireless microphones. You just need to find the one that works with the receiver. Small diaphragm condensers, large diaphragm condensers, DI boxes, IEC cables for those, whatever it is you need to hook up to. And then XLR cables are here. In the bottom we have our 25 footers. And then in the next drawer up we have a split drawer that has our short ones and our 50 footers. And then there's some various other stuff in here that you might want. There's a floor mic right here that we use for dances. This is for the podium, which is a shock mount so it doesn't put a lot of boom on it. I'll show you where the podium is. In this room we have a TV, and then you'll see this podium that has a thing on it, and you wheel that out. Dressing room, by the way. Exit. Another dressing room. But you wheel that back in here. And you usually set it somewhere around here. And up in the lighting patch, you will find on the lighting board a podium light patched, which we always leave hung, which is, I can't see it, but it's somewhere up there. So what else will you need? You'll need power. So power cables are all inside of this big orange thing. And just make sure they all go back. And it's only our black ones that are in there for stage. Alright, that's all I can think of right now. That's a crash course. Good luck.